In lieu of Mother's Day, Dear Mama.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
All right. Look,
That's one of my, but that really is one of my favorite songs, though.
okay.
You look just like that motherfucker, for real. For real, though. No, I'm just looking at you. Really look like that motherfucker.
No joke in the green room. I was like, God damn, that's Tupac.
Nah, that motherfucker looks red just like him, bro.
You tell ladies I met Tupac.
I thought it was the fucking team. Oh, you old him.
CGI shit.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. I'm Pierce Simpson. On today's episode, we're going to recap the Golden State Warriors' impressive Game 1 victory in Houston last night. And we also look forward to tonight's Game 2 between the Boston Celtics and Cleveland Cavaliers. But before we get into all that, I'm joined here by Complex Sports editor, Mr. Adam Caparell. Cap, last night you were sweating bullets because you took the over in the game.
Took the under in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals.
And it was a push.
It was a push, 225.5, but I think we need to have an investigation because why the hell were the Rockets fouling when they were down 12 with 30 seconds to go?
You think D'Antoni had something?
There needs to be an investigation.
Yeah, you didn't even...
Was Tim Donaghy repping that game? Like, I mean, can we have an investigation, please, Adam Silver?
Gil, we got to help our boy because each and every time we go through the same thing, where it's like, hey.
When I was looking at it, I was like, he's close.
He's sweating, dog.
He's close.
I thought he had it for a minute.
Yeah, you got to think Curry though. If Curry didn't slap the ball out,
thank you for playing defense, Steph Curry.
Yeah. If he didn't hit the ball out of his hand, that was an easy two.
Now, of course, what our fans may have seen from the cold opening, we have a special guest here on Out of Bounds, the guy that played Tupac in the biopic All Eyes on Me, Demetrius Shipp Jr. Demetrius, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, fellas?
It's great to have you on board, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
Talk some sports. This is new for me.
No, it's great. You know your basketball.
A little bit.
You know your basketball. Last night we were just sitting there talking about the game and everything, so you know your hoops. Of course, we're going to get into the Game 1 victory for the Golden State Warriors in H-Town as they took down the 1-seeded Houston Rockets 119-106. KD had 37 points. Klay Thompson chipped in with 28 points, 11 points in the fourth quarter. Steph had 18, and James Harden, despite losing, went off with 41 points and 7 assists. But the Rockets went down. We don't seem too surprised that the Golden State Warriors took Game 1 last night. Gil, what do you make of the Rockets losing, and do they have an answer for KD? You a therapist, right? Is that what
No, I looked at the, when you look at the game and you look at the stats and, I look at the little details in the game.
Right.
And the fact that, Chris Paul only had 3 assists let me know that he didn't have the ball in his hand. And if you're going to beat the Warriors, you cannot put the ball in James Harden's hands because he's too careless with the ball. I know you need him to score 40, but 40 with 4 assists, and he's not going to get back on defense, which means it's going to be 8 to 12 points on those 4, turnovers. Yeah. That's going to have to be your change. You can't – his 40 is not worth the ball being out of Chris Paul.
I mean, we watched plenty of times where you would just sit and watch the game. James would go to the basket, not get a call, and react and just be lazy and be like, James, get back. And so is that what you're
every foul he thinks he got fouled, he's not going to get back on defense. Yeah. If he turns the ball over, not going to get back on defense. Like half the time when they need him, he doesn't pass half court.
Right.
And you can't do that with 5 or 4 shooters on that court because they need you to hustle every play. Like how they hustled the last 3 minutes of the game. You should have did that the whole game.
Yeah, they were diving on for the floor for loose balls and everything. Demetrius, what did you see in Game 1 that kind of caught your eye? Because KD was making shots, and you were like, Jesus Christ, we can't do nothing about that.
I mean, damn, what you going to do?
Yes,
honestly,
you can do.
It's nothing you can do. You just got to, at some point, like, hope maybe he'll miss.
Yeah.
Maybe try to trap him in double team, but you know what that's going to cost you.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, shit,
Yeah, it's not much.
I don't know. I think the one thing for them is they have to find something where they're not trying to, like, out-tempo the Warriors or out-shoot them because they started off hot, but if you've seen and watched Houston a lot, like, that's not going to last, especially against the Warriors. Like, you're not going to outshoot them and all that. So I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. They don't have an answer for KD.
Because it's like you said, he's like, why are they taking so many threes?
Yeah.
It's like you're playing right into the Warriors' hand when you take all those threes. Do you think James Harden is lazy, like my man Gil said a little bit? You see, I said it. I was like, we go ahead, no,
right. Well, we watched the game. He wasn't really getting back. He wasn't really much of a help. There was a play where I knew after he pointed it out, I'm like, damn. I said out loud, I'm like, yo, James is not about to get back past half court. And for sure, it ended up in the bucket, and his ass was walking up.
Listen, especially as he is on the offensive end, he definitely has moments where he's like, I'm going to just take this possession off. I'm going to get some rest. And sometimes I can't blame him because he is the Houston Rockets offense. But, Cap, what did you see in the game? I mean, for other
Well,
reasons,
for other reasons,
aside
yes,
from
yes.
financial
Strictly analytically speaking here, it just kind of reminded me of Game 1 of the NBA Finals last year, where it's like you had that oh shit moment where it's like the Warriors have KD and the Cavs didn't, and again, this time the Warriors have KD and the Rockets don't, and they don't have an answer for him. And again, the talent disparity between the Warriors and the Rockets was pretty apparent, and that's what it comes down to. You just have better talent that should rise to the top over a 7-game series, and they don't have an answer for KD.
And
you don't need an answer for KD. You just need to match KD.
But they can't really.
But you have one that's having 37, then you have Harden with 41. You're matching them offensively, but KD's not going to allow you to have easy baskets. He's going to challenge you. He's going to challenge you on the defensive end. So
especially at the rim.
So even with them canceling each other out, you still got Klay Thompson with 28. I mean, you don't cancel that out. You have Curry with 18. You're not canceling that out. I mean, they have so many flaws, and there were so many flaws in Game 1. Like, I know I kill them.
Go ahead.
But PJ Tucker, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And it's shown in this game, you cannot play him 35 minutes. This is the series you can't, like as hard as he plays and the tough and grit, that is amazing. But he cannot play in this series 35 minutes. 1 point, 4 rebounds from your power forward,
I knew it.
who's going to be switched on to KD, who's giving up 5 inches plus length when he jumps.
But they don't.
There's
no one to guard KD for them.
But
I'd rather if I'm not going to guard him, I'm not going to put a 6'6" guy on him.
Oh, he's 6'6" now.
Yeah, I'm going to give him his real height, a 6'6" power forward.
You said he was
when they do a pick and roll, when you're doing a pick and roll and you're switching a smaller guy on him now, he's going to shoot right over this guy. At least put height into this game. Yeah. You cannot play small ball because Golden State small ball is still big as shit. So you can't try to go small ball too. Like when he got a shot blocked. All I said was 6'6".
You really said 6'4", but
I just said 6'4", right? All right, 6'4". I forgot his block. Yeah. And then another big thing is free throws. If you're gonna beat them, then beat them at the opposite game. If they're gonna shoot threes, beat them at the free throw line. You can't get to the free throw line 21 times against Golden State. You're gonna have to get there 30, 35, 40 because that means someone is getting foul trouble. That means if they're getting foul trouble, that means they're sitting on the bench. That means they're not hitting threes. Yeah. That's how Cleveland beat them when they beat them in the championship. They were just getting to the free throw line for the most part. With a little bit of refs help.
I know we clown on Harden for not playing defense, but I also kind of wonder, did the Rockets waste a big-time performance from Harden?
Yes.
Went off for 40-plus points. He had that great first quarter. They got off to a great start, and then just kind of everything kind of started falling apart slowly but surely.
I thought it was a subpar performance from Coach D'Antoni because at one point in the game, we saw a lineup that featured Luke Rashaw, Mbah Moute, P.J. Tucker, and Gerald Green on the floor with just Eric Gordon and James Harden. That's 2 shooters.
Eric Gordon played in the fourth quarter that much?
He didn't play too much in the fourth quarter. They tried to go all defense.
He had a nice third quarter. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, he had a nice third quarter, and then Clint Capella didn't play that much in the fourth quarter.
We can also maybe call foul on some of the timeout, management because fourth quarter when you could have used a few here and there maybe to stem a little bit of the momentum, and you were handcuffed because you had 2 left.
You only had 2 left compared to Golden State having 4.
His lineups are bad. You're trying to play defense against a team that you can't play defense against. Yeah. So at least match him with height, match him with shooting ability. Because at some point, they're going to have to double James, just like you're going to have to try to double KD. So if they're going to double James, make them pay for that. But if you're sitting here trying to put defenders and all these defenders on them that can't shoot on the other side, then you have no help. Right. Offensively. You're just playing 3 against 5.
Demetrius, you mentioned Eric Gordon having a quality third quarter, not playing too much in the fourth quarter. What do you think the Houston Rockets can do in Game 2 to hopefully even the series up?
Well, they got to play him clearly. And I would take P.J. Tucker out and somehow put Eric Gordon in there.
Influence you, man.
I'm just saying. I didn't know that, man. I really didn't know much about that, but a 6'6" power forward playing against KD, you're really asking for 40 from KD.
Yeah. But here's the thing: who can guard Kevin Durant? It's not too
no one,
but I see your point.
But at 6'6", they don't have to guard him either.
Yeah.
Like you had 1.4 rebounds. Like, what are you out there for?
Right.
He's out there to hit some corner threes, hopefully.
Yeah, what you call it?
You have 1 point. I don't know what three is 1 point worth of threes. I don't know what kind of 3 that was.
I said hopefully.
Ryan Anderson.
is even worse
He can't
defensive
play
liability.
defense.
He's a statue.
He can't play defense. James can't play defense. But at least this 6'11", 7-footer's going to hit.
So you're trying to fight fire with fire. You just want to just three.
That makes more sense to me though. With putting who was it? You said Anderson?
Yeah, Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, putting him in there over PJ Tucker against Durant. I mean, he's not going to be able to do much, but at least on the offensive end, he can hit a three.
But Demetrius, like we said, and they asked Mike D'Antoni after the game last night, why are you switching every pick and roll? If you switch Ryan Anderson on to Kevin Durant, that's lunch.
It's lunch anyway. It's lunch either way. You're giving up lunch food anyway. Either it's going to be against 6'6" or Ryan Anderson who can't. But on the other end, when Ryan Anderson pops, he is a danger.
You're saying it's a threat.
He's a big threat out there because he's just as tall as KD, even taller, and he can knock that three down. And it's not some 6'1.5" guy sitting in the corner looking like a fucking plant.
He's going to be 5'10" by game 2.
The only thing he does good is just have on new shoes.
Wow.
Yo, that's
He should
tough.
Uh,
work for Complex. He's just a shoe guy.
Yo, that's tough.
He's a shoe guy.
We
Hey
had
man,
That's all I knew about
I
him.
was not here when that shit was going on.
You learn from us.
That's all I knew about him, that he had on nice shoes. I didn't really knew anything.
Yeah, Joe had him on sneaker shop.
Yeah, sneaker shopping. Shout out.
They should just trade him and D'Antoni if they want to win this series.
Do you just hate players from Texas? Or just that play from Texas? No, that play in Texas. You got him, you got Kawhi, you got Jesus. You might hate my state, brother. That might be what it is.
Bad talent out there.
Okay, let's see if you feel the same way about the game that's happening tonight. Game 2, the matchup between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. The Cavs will look to even the series after suffering a beatdown in Game 1. 108-83, the Celtics took a 1-0 series lead. Jaylen Brown had 23 points, 8 rebounds. Marcus Morris, who may call himself the LeBron stopper, even though that's a hand wave from us, 21 points and 10 rebounds. LeBron was not limited, but had 15 points on 5 for 16 shooting, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, along with 7 turnovers. The Cavs shot 36% from the field and an atrocious 15% from the three-point line, 4 for 26. Gil, you said in the green room that we can expect a 40-point triple-double from Mr. LeBron James tonight.
You already know.
really haven't been wrong after you kind of
already
predict a 40
know
point.
what he's going to do.
So what makes you think that LeBron's going to do that? Is the fact that he kind of just scouted the defense in game 1 and can do this?
I mean, it's chess. You know, it's chess to him. It's a 7-game series. It's not like college. It's not one and done. Yeah. So, you know, they changed their lineup. They put Brown in this series. They put in, Morrison, So I want to see what this defense looks like.
Yeah.
I want to see what they do, how they're rotating. We end up losing, but I know now.
And you mentioned LeBron in game 1 I believe the last times in the Eastern Conference that they lost game 1 5 times, they've gone on to win the series. So obviously losing game 1 to LeBron James doesn't mean much. Demetrius, what do you think LeBron and company can do to even the series tonight in Boston?
Well, we know what LeBron going to do. I think the supporting cast just has to step up. Like, since I think that was like game 4 or 5 of that Pacers series, everybody else has kind of like stepped up. That one game where they was down, I think it was 3-1 and they won, wherever they was. They've all stepped up since then, so they just have to like kick in. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just Tristan Thompson start balling, Kevin Love start balling, JR hitting his threes. Yeah. So if they do that, LeBron's gonna do what he's gonna do. And I expect him to.
You make a great point. Kyle Korver, J.R. Smith, and George Hill were under double figures in the first half, and you can't have that when that's 3 solid role players for your squad.
It was so funny. LeBron doesn't understand that his non-aggressiveness actually messes them up.
Yeah.
Because the fact that he's not driving and sucking in the defense, these guys are just not going to get open by themselves. I mean, Kyle Korver is not going to sit there and shake and bake like Kyrie did.
You saying Kyle Korver ain't going to ISO nobody?
Yeah, he ain't going to ISO nobody. So it's like they're not going to get open unless you're driving. So if you look at all the games that they did ball, LeBron was balling too. Yeah. So when LeBron goes and like does that Westbrook style, sucking in the defense, then he hit. Now these guys get to sit here and play with the handshakes and do all the little silly shit we like.
He's just going after everybody today. I mean,
what did I do? I said that.
You said
we
that,
like.
You said the handshake.
The handshake. The
That's
shit we
obviously
like.
shade.
The shit we like.
This guy.
You did it with the shade.
Yeah, this guy is shading everybody. Cap, what do you think? I mean, Gil kind of schooled us on LeBron having like filler games, and game 1's a filler game. Do you think he comes out tonight in game 2 and it's a totally different?
Yeah, 3 things. LeBron's averaging 34.3 points per game in the playoffs.
Jeez.
He's going off in game 2. Number 2, the Cavs missed their first 14 3-pointers in game 1. Not happening again in game 2. And third point, we talked about how atrocious they were defensively. Celtics and their success is predicated on points in the paint.
Yeah.
They had 60 points in the paint in game 1. You got to do something to limit that. So limit that, make some 3-pointers, and have LeBron go for 40 to 45. you probably come out with a Game 2 victory.
Yeah. If the Cavs can leave Boston with the series tied and things are heading back to Cleveland, I expect them to win both games in Cleveland like they have. They've been a pretty impressive team in the playoffs at home. On the road is a totally different story, like a completely different team. But like you said, I think LeBron will go out and put his foot on the necks of the Celtics tonight and even the series and have to.
I think it's going to come down to this game tomorrow, though.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. They can't afford to go down 0-2. They don't have enough firepower to come back.
I don't know.
What?
They have LeBron, but the rest of the
That's
team.
it. That's all they need.
Have you seen the rest of the team?
0-2 against the Celtics, though.
But
That's tough.
But look at but it's not a Boston Celtic that has any one person that's just going to take over the series. They need their whole team to play well all at the same time.
Okay, so what adjustments does Brad Stevens make knowing that the storm of LeBron James is coming tonight for game?
First half, nothing. Because you had success game 1 and dominated the whole game.
Yeah.
That you come out with the same game plan knowing you have a backup at halftime.
Right.
So he has to be smart enough to, if it's not going his way, to adjust on the fly in the second half.
Yeah. Demetrius, if you were Brad Stevens, the coach of the Boston Celtics, what would you do to try and stop LeBron James?
It's nothing. That's impossible. That's
Is it possible? Try and fight him before he gets to the arena?
Right, exactly.
But you don't need to stop LeBron. You need to
stop everybody else.
You got to stop everybody else.
Yeah. Okay.
But you don't. We've tried it.
To stop LeBron?
We've tried to stop LeBron. We tried to cut everybody off. But the way you play the game is you can't.
Yeah.
He comes in there, you have to flinch. You flinch, he's throwing it.
I love how you said we tried like he was Thanos or something. Like we as a nation.
We as a nation, as a basketball nation, got the Wizards, you got the Toronto, we got the Boston back in the day. We all tried to do everything.
The over-under for points for LeBron in Game 2, 32.5.
Over.
Way over.
Over. So what are our predictions for tonight's Game 2 matchup between Boston and Cleveland? Okay, LeBron.
I don't know. I'm going to go with the Celtics.
You're going, wow. You're going to say it's going to be an 0-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the pressure's not on LeBron. The pressure is on the supporting cast.
Yeah.
So we know he's going to put up 40
And you're
points.
saying they're just going to crack under pressure.
Kyle Korver got to be hitting the threes. Kevin Love got to be getting rebounds. Because I think they got outboarded like terribly last night.
Yeah.
So, that's all going to make a difference. They got to come with their game or it's going to be 0-2.
Oh, listen, let's hope that the Cleveland fans treat you better than the Toronto fans treat you, because they will slander you on Twitter. They will slander you on Twitter.
For the record, the Cavaliers are +1 heading to Game 2.
Yeah.
I think you load LeBron over 32.5, and I think you load the Cavs getting a point in Game 2 in Boston.
He didn't even pick he didn't
That's a
He
pick.
said Cleveland.
That's a pick.
Okay, you said
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Oh, this guy, it's like
That's Cleveland. That's Cleveland.
just money.
Because it's +1.
okay.
So it's +1. So if he takes the +1, that means he has to go with Cleveland.
Listen, never change, brother. Never change.
Because there's no half of points.
brand, yeah.
There's no half of points.
And speaking of my brand, my fellow gamblers,
Let's give him a round of applause.
Wrap it up.
It's time.
we have been legitimized. Okay? On Monday, an historic rule in the Supreme Court struck down the PASPA, otherwise known as the Professional and Amateur Sports Protection Act, a federal law that has prohibited since 1992 sports gambling. And in this landmark decision, that is now being left up to the states to figure out if they want to legalize sports gambling. So yes, it was an historic ruling that came down on Monday. After nearly 6-year legal battle, the court ruled in favor of New Jersey and against the NCAA, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL, overturning the federal statute that, again, prohibits sports gambling in all but 4 states, most notably Nevada. So now, again, it's up to the states if they want to actually install legalized sports gambling. New Jersey is probably the one that's best positioned to do it immediately. And the court wrote this following their decision. Congress can regulate sports gambling directly, but if it elects not to do so, each state is free to act on its own. Our job is to interpret the law Congress has enacted and decide whether it is consistent with its Constitution. PASPA is not. And again, it's been a long battle that was led by New Jersey and Chris Christie, so if you don't like Chris Christie and his politics, but you like gambling, you got to give the fat man some props because he's the one who orchestrated this. So props to Chris Christie.
How much champagne did you pop after this?
Yo,
story?
hey, I've never seen so much energy.
ever. He like, yes, yes, we winning.
Yeah, the cell phone was blowing up this morning when the ruling came down, and then also on Twitter and on Instagram and everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to hit it big time. And obviously the leagues themselves had some things to say. I think most interestingly, Adam Silver, because the NBA has actually kind of been a low-key proponent of legalizing legalize sports gambling, albeit with some caveats, but Adam Silver had this to say, quote, "We remain in favor of a federal framework that would provide a uniform approach to sports gambling in states that choose to permit it, but we will remain active in ongoing discussions with state legislatures. Regardless of the particulars of any future sports betting law, the integrity of our game remains our highest priority." So obviously the integrity of the game is the biggest thing to pull out there because essentially, the leagues, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, all the other leagues just always talk about how the integrity of the game is the most important. And some of these leagues actually want integrity fees, which if you get down to are complete bullshit. But the question I'm going to pose to you guys right now is, will legal sports betting, again, up to each state, is that going to alleviate any of the corruption that's maybe some people think is available or maybe potentially could be rampant still going forward in all kinds of sports, professional and collegiate?
Here, I don't think, I think there is, maybe not, unintended might be the wrong word, but I think it will be kind of beneficial to fans because if this integrity rule does apply to things like the NBA or the NFL, the leagues will get extra money, which then in turn boosts the salary cap, and then you can have additional free agents go to squads. Whether you like that or not, it could happen.
So there's no integrity rule in right now, but you can gamble in Vegas.
No integrity fee in Vegas.
That's a gift, by the way. We're going to do that.
I'm just, so what the fuck is the difference? Like if California passes it, why do you need an integrity fee if you don't have one?
You don't have to. The states can put their foot down and say,
but I'm just saying
extra revenue.
But if Vegas, but why am I giving it to you?
The leagues are going to demand that if these states, if the leagues are going to sponsor and be okay with you having legalized sports gambling, they're going to say that we want to take 1% of the entire pot that your state is taking in, which could be an astronomical sum. But real talk, the states have zero obligation and zero responsibility to placate to them and say, yes, we'll give you some money for the money that we take in.
But is that a way to save face as a sports league to say we're going to let them advertise on our games? Is that maybe what it is? It's like, hey, we got this gambling site running a commercial during games, but...
I mean, listen, this is what it comes down to. The leagues for years and years and years have lusted low-key about getting gambling money. And they just haven't found a way to do it because obviously with the federal mandate against sports gambling across the country, except for 4 states, you can't really do much. But now that that's kind of off the table, the leagues are scrambling to find ways to get their money and claws into this huge amount of money that's about to be flooded legally into different marketplaces. Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. It's just essentially the leagues, how can they get more money and continue to feed their greedy asses in every way, shape, or form. And I hope the states put their foot down and don't placate to them in the integrity fee, which is being led by the NBA and Major League Baseball.
I don't know. Integrity fee of what? Like what is
because so they're essentially claiming that they need this fee to be able to regulate markets and make sure that no corruption is going on with their players and educate them and blah blah blah.
But corruption is proposing.
That's what all these other leagues too.
But they're not doing it now, and I can gamble in Vegas right now, on a game, like I did tonight.
Yes,
like I did yesterday, like I can do tonight, like same thing you did, like.
Just put everybody in business.
No, I'm just saying.
Just throw everybody in business.
I don't get it. Like I don't get what. I'm just saying. I'm just saying I don't get why you should get paid to keep your sport clean.
I think
when it's been clean for decades.
Yeah,
there hasn't been a major professional sports gambling issue since the 50s.
Because how are you going to convince a motherfucker who's making $30 million a year to throw a game?
You can't.
You can't. Unless you're going to, police your referees? The only people who actually have pull in a sports betting world is referees. Unless you're going to pay them more to keep them clean, I don't know what they need to pay you for.
Demetrius, you buying the whole integrity thing with?
Well, what he's saying right now, if you're going to pay the referees more, then it makes sense.
Right.
I mean, that's the only thing because everything else doesn't. Yeah, it's like for what?
You saying hypothetically a ref could have some money on the over under?
Shit, why wouldn't
they may have they may have in game 1 of the Western Conference.
So you saying that?
I'm just saying. It looked a little suspect, but I mean,
y'all did say whatever.
If it's any integrity that needs to be protected, I think it's with them because they got the ability to control the games.
That's true.
Yeah, but I mean, the more oversight, the more regulation, the more eyes you have on money coming in for sports gambling, which is what you would have with these states setting it up, the more chance you have to monitor any weird activity and be tipped off if you see a lot of money coming on one side irregularly, and then you can kind of notify and put the things in motion. So, yeah, the integrity fee and these leagues mandating that they get extra money to make sure the sanctity of their sport is staying true and proper is complete horseshit. And the hypocrisy of the NFL is on a level that is just ridiculous. They came out with a statement today saying that, we're still kind of against this, blah, blah, blah. But, I keep going back to the fact that if there's been one sport in America that has benefited from gambling more than any, it is the NFL. The NFL is popular because of gambling, okay? and they have a team going to Vegas in 2020, and they're probably going to have the Super Bowl in Vegas in 2022 or whatever the case is. So again, getting off their high horse, I'm just dying for that to finally happen for the NFL and the other leagues, but they're still kind of holding on to the more high ground, which in the grand scheme of things is a bunch of bullshit.
Demetrius, you hear that? Super Bowl in Vegas? Oh, you can cash in out there.
Yes.
Oh,
Man.
my God.
Oh, man. He's going to be gone down there. Take me with you, dog.
I didn't even, when you first said it didn't even click. I'm like,
he's back.
Yeah, he's back.
Living.
All right, we have one more delusional individual to get to, and that is LiAngelo Ball, who says that it is his priority to play with Lonzo and the Lakers. So, on an interview with ESPN LA 710, Jello reiterated his desire to team up again with his brother in LA, and he told the radio station, quote, "The Lakers is my priority for sure. I want to play with my brother. Ever since I played with Zoe, we went undefeated. Same thing will happen when we get older. We're just going to get stronger and faster and better feel for the game. It will be a good outcome. I'm willing to play for other teams. That's fine if they pick me. My priority is the Lakers. I just want to play with my brother." LiAngelo, great sentiment. I admire the dedication and the commitment, but you have not been invited to the NBA Draft Combine that's going on later this week. You are not considered one of the top 50 or top 100 prospects available for the NBA Draft. And real talk, you got kicked out of Lithuania a few weeks ago, and it's probably going to be a struggle to play in the G League. So, given Jello's very shaky draft stock, real talk, he should reprioritize his plans of not only playing with his brother in the Lakers, but playing in some other league, maybe not even in the United States, right, guys?
On 2K18, you can do my career. You can face it. And
I love the passion.
Demetrius, he gonna play with the Lakers in real life?
oh, man.
As a what? 6'2" guard?
So you're delusional also.
No. All right, hold on.
Listen.
Go ahead. Because I don't want to.
I mean, it's like the PJ Tucker thing, man. What I'm saying is you're 6'4", 6'5",
If that.
small forward that needs to be a point guard in the NBA. I mean, you don't have no athleticism. You can barely get off the floor. You can't dribble. You can shoot it, but you can't get your own shot. So the fact that you need to be a point guard in this league to have success, and you think the Lakers are going to pick you up. I mean, unless you're paying the Lakers millions of dollars for them to put you on a 10-day.
Back up. That's my favorite. That's my favorite thing about your analysis, right? Is the fact that you're trying to be nice, but you just said you can't jump, you can't get off the floor. And he said he got to pay the Lakers millions to play.
If you pay the Lakers advertising fee like you did in Lithuania, you pay them for the league. You pay them. I mean, I'm pretty sure they give you a 10-day.
Listen, man, the truth hurts.
He said that LiAngelo has to pay the Lakers.
If LeBron James was on the Lakers, and he says, "I want my brother Jello to play," maybe that can happen.
Yeah, now that makes sense.
But Lonzo, see, I'm calling him Lonzo now because he's finished his rookie season.
Oh,
I can't call him Alonzo anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
I gotta call him Lonzo by his real name. You know, when you're a rookie, you don't get your fucking real name.
Oh, so
you're the rook or whatever I make up.
So what do you explain about you calling Kawhi Kawad? We gonna know?
I just didn't know it.
Is that why you forgot his name with Rich Eisen?
he was a rookie.
That makes sense now. I get it. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, but next question. So I'm going to put this up for you. If you're in an NBA team other than the Lakers and you heard that this player was saying that he's willing to play for other teams but obviously really, really wants to play for the Lakers, put yourself in, GM's shoes there. Would you be hesitant to actually sign this guy and bring him into the fold?
See that laugh?
This is such a funny ass topic because it's really absurd. It's like, really?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But as a GM, of course not, because of course he wants to play with his brother. I think that, the whole ball thing, like it's a good kind of like, what do you want to call it, like a tactic scheme for, the attention that they get and all that. And it's good. So, he has to say those type of things, just like his father and all of that stuff, you know. But is it realistic? I mean, I knew years ago because I know somebody at the UCLA or whatever, and they was like, this is what happened with Lonzo is not going to happen here for sure. Like,
here's the part that killed me. The quote, "Ever since I played with Zoe, we went undefeated." Does he think the NBA is Chino Hills? Does he think that?
I think he does. And that's the sad part. It's like, come on, brother. It's like,
this is not.
This is the NBA. It's like 3, 6, 6, 4 guards is not going to
I thought he was 6'6".
He's 6'4". No, he's 6'5".
Something like that, yeah.
Gilbert Arenas, the height
Like
expert.
no, like Zoe is 6'6". I think he's 6'5".
LaMelo might be the tallest now,
And
right?
LaMelo might be the tallest now.
I mean, the Lakers have the 25th and 47th overall picks, but the idea of them drafting LiAngelo is not far-fetched. It's impossible. It's not happening. So
It's not
you
happening.
can get that out of the way.
Why would you waste a pick on that when you can just have him try out and go to Summer League?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the Lakers G
He'll go to
League.
Summer
There's the
League.
Lakers G League affiliate, which is the South Bay
but
Lakers.
that-
But at the same time, there's also arguments to make that maybe he's not even a G League quality player yet.
Look,
Hey,
listen.
nah, I'll give him G League. I ain't gonna do nothing.
No.
I'll give him G League.
No.
Come on, I give him G League.
Demetrius, I don't know.
I will
League,
make,
bro.
that he will probably try out for the Summer League team. He could possibly make that.
It's still high-level basketball, though.
I know it's still no, but I'm just saying he can possibly make. They can pull some strings,
Right, I think-
to get on the Summer League team.
What about a Drew League team?
He probably won't make the
See,
team.
That's crazy.
I threw him a lot.
Drew League, the NBA
him a
player,
lot.
but I see that though. I think that makes more sense than him getting drafted, than him going to like the G League, playing for some time, and then if he ends up good enough, shit, get bumped up and play with his brother. I think that's the approach.
By the time he
Why
get
you
good,
laughing when you say
look,
it?
I think the other way that he's talking is real far fetched. It's like him getting drafted.
By
to
the
the
time
Lakers.
he gets good, his brother will be shipped on to somewhere else or retired.
Oh, wow.
He done had his 15-year career.
Or LaMelo will be there.
He'd be like Ingram coming in at 38 rookie. That's it.
Wow.
You can,
No,
you can wrap it
no.
up. You can wrap it up now.
No. I have faith
Here we
in
go.
his determination that he's going to score at least 10 points in Summer League this year.
It's a good amount, though.
Yeah.
You don't think nobody would draft him?
No. No.
You-
No, it's not going to happen. Who's going to draft him? Is that no?
You want to put a wager on that?
Oh hell no.
I don't. Oh, man.
Nah.
Demetrius fit right in here on Out of Bounds. As you can tell, sitting next to this guy, you kind of in the crossfire with everything.
Yeah,
It's just like he's coming full steam. But Demetrius, we appreciate you
Oh, thank y'all
being
for
here
having
on
me.
Out of Bounds, brother. It was a pleasure. For Adam Caparell, Adam, don't lose too much money now that everything is
All right, but real talk though,
Look.
nothing is actually going to change. It's going to stay the same for a while. So all the people who have been doing this, they're going to continue to do their ways that's mostly been underground. It's going to take a long time for states to actually enact proper infrastructure, except for New Jersey, which may get this stuff off the ground. But I wrote about it in Complex Sports. You want to read more about it, go over there. But in the grand scheme of things, yes, Monday's ruling was historic, but it's not really changing much.
Historic is a grown man with the Justin Bieber hair.
But time out. Aside from
Wow.
that,
Wow.
yo.
Let's wrap this up.
But time out.
Let's wrap this up.
Do it again. Hey. But here's the part that got me. Did he plug his own work like a rapper? You can go.
We plugged his movie.
What about website?
You go check out my album, my mixtape coming out.
Right.
Plug his own shit. Yo.
We plugged his
Priority Records coming soon.
Nah, that's funny.
If you don't want to take a producer.
Mayo fucks in the studios now.
Are we done roasting me for now? Can we end the show?
Gilbert Arenas, pleasure, brother. I can't even listen. His latest edition Out of Bounds. We'll see you tomorrow. Cap, I'm sorry, man.
Jesus, man.
How much did you milk the fact that you look like Tupac?
I had one little Vegas trip.
See? I know yeah.
Perfect place to live it up.
I had one little Vegas trip, and it was crazy. It was because it was after the first year of me actually like auditioning and cutting my hair and all that shit. So that was back in like 2011 or one of those years,
Yeah.
some shit like that. And I went to Vegas.
You milked it. See, that's what I'm talking about.
He's alive. I fucked Puck last night.